Welcome back to In Sync with Alexi, the show where we take the chaos of politics, culture, and personal growth and actually make sense of it. I'm Alexi McCammond, and today we need to talk about something deeply American and deeply dysfunctional: our obsession with the political savior. You know the story. Every few years, especially when Democrats are flailing, a hero emerges. They're young, or they're old but cool in some way, or they're centrist but radical adjacent. They have a podcast, and they're here to save us and to save democracy. Maybe. It's the myth of the political savior, and it's already playing out for 2028 in 2025. And yeah, it's already exhausting. Let's set the stage. Donald Trump is president again. It's only May 2025, and yet we're already seeing the rumblings of the 2028 Democratic primary. Pete Buttigieg, of course, the former Secretary of Transportation and America's favorite human LinkedIn page, is basically on a podcast tour, going on like all of them across the so-called manosphere. He's a nice guy, sure. He's smart, articulate, speaks 7 different languages, but none of which are normal human. But does anyone actually want Pete 2.0? Or are we just hypnotized by his ability to form full sentences? This is nothing against him. I think he's great. But I think it's important for us to question all of this. Meanwhile, Bernie Sanders is a ripe 83. He just went on Andrew Schultz's podcast, which feels like a Mad Lib sentence. And he's been doing rallies with AOC all across the country, getting lots of people to attend. It's giving 2016 nostalgia with a hint of TikTok thirst trap edits. And Gavin Newsom, everyone's favorite potential presidential candidate and Disney villain, started his own podcast because of course he did. It's called I Don't Need to Run, but Here's My Voice Anyway. Not really, but it should be. Governor Newsom clearly wants to be the Democrats' Ron DeSantis, a coastal governor, big name, early entry. But we saw how that went for DeSantis, and Newsom's vibe is more aspirational hair product ad than inspiring movement leader. All of this, the positioning, the podcasting, the personality rollouts, is happening before we even hit Trump's second-term summer. And instead of organizing, coalition building, or, fixing the party's infrastructure, Democrats are doing what they always do: casting for a new lead in the never-ending reboot of The West Wing. Here's the thing, guys, I get it. Democrats, and honestly, Americans in general, are addicted to the idea of a political savior. One person who can just fix it, who will deliver us from fascism with one soaring speech and a perfectly tailored blazer. It's comforting, especially when the stakes feel this high and Trump is back on the scene. But it's also lazy, and at this point, we should know better. It lets the party and us off the hook completely, because instead of doing the hard work, the gritty work of building power, we focus on personalities. We reduce politics to branding, to vibes, to who's good on camera and who can dunk on Republicans with a 45-second soundbite that makes everyone happy for 1 week before we all move on to something else. And here's where I'm going to say something that might piss people off, but that's okay. Democrats already lost 2028 if this is their strategy. Let's look at the field. We're talking about Pete Buttigieg, we're talking about Gavin Newsom, Bernie Sanders, AOC. There's buzz about Governor Gretchen Whitmer from Michigan, a little bit, of course, about Kamala Harris, and that's fine. But the most compelling candidate, the one who could actually win over voters we've been losing, from Black working class voters to disillusioned moderates, the one with military experience, nonprofit chops, a Harvard degree, and actual charisma, that's Wes Moore. Wes Moore, the sitting governor of Maryland, is truly the real deal. He's young, he's Black, he's smart, he's a veteran. He ran the Robin Hood Foundation before running for office. And he actually talks like a human being, not an algorithm trained on past Obama speeches. I've spent time with him, and you can tell he's the real deal. He's not like trying to go viral, he's trying to govern. And somehow that's made him invisible in a party that claims to value both service and substance. So why don't we talk about him? Why don't more people talk about him? Here's one theory I've been thinking about, and this was after two separate men when I was traveling, both of them self-described lifelong Democrats. They were talking about the future of the party. One was basically saying that he liked Pete Buttigieg, but he thought that being gay was a problem for him. And both of these men said, oh my gosh, I love Bernie Sanders, but can't stand that AOC. They hated AOC, they said. And the word hate was dripping with disdain. It was coated in that familiar cocktail of misogyny and resentment, all masked as, this is just my opinion, don't worry, just my opinion. And that's the uncomfortable truth about how we elevate saviors in this country. We want our heroes to look a certain way, be a certain gender. We want them to be inspirational, but never too radical. We'll entertain Bernie Sanders, but reject AOC. We'll listen to Pete, but still call his queerness a liability. And we'll completely ignore someone like Wes Moore, even when he checks every box except being white or loud. That's not strategy, that's bias with a ballot. And if we keep letting that bias shape who gets airtime, who gets funded, and who gets taken seriously, we're gonna keep losing to people who couldn't pass a high school civics test. Look, the truth is no one is going to save us. Not Pete Buttigieg, not Gavin Newsom, not even Wes Moore, unless we do the work behind him. The myth of the political savior is seductive, but it's also dangerous. It makes us passive. It distracts us from the boring, unsexy reality of building power, state legislatures, local organizing, voter protection, candidate training, all the things that the GOP has mastered while Democrats have been off chasing the next Obama. And the last time we thought we found one, he gave us hope. He also left us with Mitch McConnell. You know who's not waiting around for a savior? Stephen Miller. He's out here plotting how to suspend habeas corpus. Republicans are planning and executing mass deportations. They're building infrastructure for authoritarianism. We're building Instagram captions, petty tweets, funny TikToks. Okay, so here's my proposal. Instead of asking who's going to save us, ask what are we doing? What are we building? Instead of falling in love with another media-trained empty suit, let's support leaders who build movements, not just fan bases. Let's uplift the people who don't just make us feel good, but make us actually stronger. Governor Wes Moore doesn't need to be a savior. He could be a leader, if we let him. But it'll take more than reposting a clip or just saying he should run. It will take things like money, time, work, effort, risk. But the myth of the political savior, that's exactly how we got here. And it's time to write a better story. All right, guys, that's it for this week's episode of In Sync with Alexi. If you're as done with political fan fiction as I am, then send this to a friend and subscribe to my podcast. Make sure to leave a rating. I can't tell you what to do, but hopefully you'll give me 5 stars. And let's start having smarter conversations about power and the people we want to hold it. Until next time, stay bold, stay skeptical, and stop waiting for someone else to fix it. Stop waiting for the next Obama. Start becoming the reason that we don't need one. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.